Several new developments in South suburban Dolton today. First, the state comptroller has suspended some payments to the village because it has failed to follow the law by providing financial reports.
You could feel the anger tonight at a Board of Trustees meeting in Thornton Township. The board and citizens looking for accountability to their finances, while the township supervisor...
Is the reign of Tiffany Henyard as the mayor of Dolton finally coming to an end? The answer might be closer than we think. Rumors are swirling that federal agents have uncovered new evidence and have new witnesses lined up against Mayor Henyard, making her the center of an increasingly tangled web of scandals. From allegations of financial misconduct to bizarre antics and potential betrayals by her closest allies, Henyard's once ironclad grip on the town seems to be slipping. Could this be the beginning of the end for Dolton's so-called super mayor? Let's dive into the juicy details and find out.
It's in deep debt, and that is the finding of an investigation of village finances and the spending habits of beleaguered Mayor Tiffany Henyard.
For those not in the know, Tiffany Henyard has been no stranger to controversy. Ever since she took office, her tenure has been marked by one scandal after another, each more shocking than the last. But now, things are getting really heated. The FBI is in town, subpoenas are flying, and sources close to the investigation say Henyard could be facing an arrest warrant any day now. The word on the street is that the feds have dug up some dirt that could finally put Henyard behind bars. And get this, some of that dirt is coming from one of her own.
One way that the government always does it is to go and investigate people around her, and that's what they're doing here.
Enter Louis Lacey, the disgraced deputy police chief and one-time staunch supporter of Henyard. Once a loyal ally, Lacey is now at the center of his own legal drama, having been indicted on 9 counts of bankruptcy fraud, making false statements, and even perjury. The allegations against Lacey are serious, but what's even more intriguing is the speculation that he might be cooperating with authorities to save his own skin. If that's true, he could be spilling all sorts of tea about Henyard's dealings. And if that happens, Henyard might just find herself out in the cold.
Well, Mr. Lacey is absolutely not guilty of all 9 counts. I believe he's cooperating. And if you cooperate, you have to admit your guilt first.
Think about it. Lacey was someone Henyard trusted implicitly. He was even known to act as her bodyguard on occasion, shielding her from detractors and critics. If he flips, it's game over. It's like a bad soap opera, right? You can't make this stuff up, and it gets better, or worse, depending on whose side you're on. According to insiders, Lacey wasn't just a passive player in Henyard's game. He was right there in the thick of it, involved in some of the very financial shenanigans that have landed him in hot water. We're talking about thousands of dollars in questionable overtime, cozy deals, and who knows what else, with the feds now zeroing in on every transaction, every decision, every whisper in the corridors of Dolton's town hall. It's no wonder Henyard is sweating bullets.
We needed those officers to be on the street fighting crime, and instead we have several officers that are riding around protecting the mayor.
But it's not just Lacey who might be turning on Henyard. Other sources suggest there are more insiders ready to talk. In fact, rumors have it that a former ally, perhaps even someone from her own office, has been feeding information to investigators. The whispers in Dolton are loud these days. The word is that Henyard's inner circle is cracking, with people who once stood by her now keeping their distance, not wanting to be dragged down with her sinking ship. Let's not forget the scandal involving her charity foundation, Tiffany Henyard Cares. Oh boy, this one is a doozy. On the surface, it seemed like a noble endeavor, a cancer charity in honor of her late father. But peel back the layers and you find something far less altruistic. The charity has been accused of some serious mismanagement. We're talking about a lack of proper registration with the Attorney General's office and absolutely no transparency about where the money is going. And then there's the cease and desist order. That's right, the Illinois Attorney General's office hit Henyard's charity with a cease and desist order after it became clear that the foundation was operating without the required paperwork. A charity that doesn't even bother to file the right documents. If that doesn't raise a red flag, what does?
But it saddens my heart that you are up here at this special meeting and not downstairs where we have big bingo.
And then there's the juicy bit about her spending habits. Remember the $33,000 she allegedly dropped in a single day on Amazon? That's right, folks. One day, $30,000 all on the taxpayer's dime. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. Former Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot, who was hired as a special investigator to dig into Dolton's finances, revealed a laundry list of suspect expenditures, including fine dining, first-class travel, and even personal items. Lightfoot was appalled, stating that Henyard had used the village's credit card like her personal ATM. With receipts like these, it's no wonder the village of Dolton is drowning in debt.
Who would make a one-day purchase of over $40,000 to Amazon? And the main thing is, what is it?
Speaking of debt, the village's finances have taken a nosedive since Henyard took office. Lightfoot's investigation found that what was once a multi-million-dollar surplus has now become a staggering $3.65 million deficit. How does one run through millions of dollars so quickly? By living large, of course. Lavish trips, luxury hotels, you name it. Henyard spared no expense. She even billed taxpayers for a series of political junkets, a fancy term for what most of us would call a vacation. And these weren't just any junkets. Oh no, these were trips to New York, Atlanta, and other hotspots, racking up tens of thousands in hotel bills, including a $9,347 stay at the Four Seasons in Atlanta. We mean, come on, who does that? And all this while the village is sinking deeper into debt.
The township residents are paying for her fund.
Henyard's antics have not gone unnoticed by state officials either. Illinois Comptroller Susana Mendoza has stepped in, freezing payments to the village until they get their financial house in order. Mendoza didn't mince words when she called out Henyard's behavior, describing it as disrespectful to the people of Dolton. And who could disagree? The town is falling apart while the mayor lives like royalty. It's like a scene from a reality TV show, except the consequences here are all too real. And let's not forget how Henyard got here in the first place. A story of ambition, manipulation, and some would say deceit. Tiffany Henyard wasn't always the embattled mayor we see today. She started with high hopes and big promises. She became the mayor of Dolton in 2021, riding a wave of support. She was young, charismatic, and promised to clean up the town's act. But as time went on, the promises turned to dust. Instead of transparency, there were cover-ups. Instead of accountability, there was arrogance. Her time in office has been marked by an almost relentless pursuit of self-interest.
I think you should pay everybody. Is it a reason why you guys are not paying whatever that vendor is?
What was it for?
It was for shirts. That's what it's for. You just asked.
One of the early signs of trouble was her handling of the town's police department. Almost immediately after taking office, Henyard started to shake things up, replacing senior officials with people she could trust, people like Lewis Lacey. At first, it seemed like a savvy political move, consolidating power and ensuring loyalty. But as time went on, it became clear that this wasn't about good governance. It was about control. Henyard wielded her power like a club, using it to silence critics and push through her agenda, often at the expense of the town's well-being. Her leadership style earned her the nickname Dolton Dictator, and it wasn't just for show. There were reports of her using the police department to settle personal scores, going after detractors with a zeal that bordered on obsession. And then there was the alleged misuse of the police force for her personal protection, racking up enormous overtime costs for officers. Some say she ran the town like her own personal fiefdom, and there's plenty of evidence to back that up. It's almost tragic in a way. Here's someone who came into office with a promise to bring about change, and yet all she brought was chaos. From her questionable spending to her erratic behavior at town meetings, where she often speaks into a golden microphone, no less, Henyard has done little to inspire confidence. Instead, she has left a trail of mistrust, anger, and debt.
Sometimes we get invoices, but those invoices lead to more questions, and sometimes we don't get answers to those questions. And so it's not about clickbait, it's about just making sure the right thing is being done.
And now it seems the chickens are coming home to roost. With federal agents sniffing around, subpoenas piling up, and allies turning their backs, Henyard's once secure position looks anything but. The rumors are flying fast, and the people of Dolton are getting restless. They want answers. They want answers. They want accountability. And most of all, they want a mayor who isn't constantly in the headlines for all the wrong reasons.
The manpower was just very stressed and critical to the point of almost breaking.
But what's next for Henyard? Can she weather the storm? Or is this the end of the road for Dolton the super mayor? Only time will tell, but one thing is clear. Things are not looking good. With every new piece of evidence, every fresh allegation, the walls are closing in. And as they do, the people of Dolton are left wondering, was it all worth it? For Henyard, the answer might soon come in the form of a pair of handcuffs. Stay tuned, folks, because this story is far from over. Henyard might be down, but she's not out yet. With her back against the wall, she's sure to come out swinging. But will it be enough to save her? Or is it too late? Only one thing is certain, Dolton will never be the same again. Fan reactions to Tiffany Henyard's scandal-ridden tenure as mayor of Dolton are as fiery as the controversies themselves. Many are quick to express their frustrations and disbelief over the continuous string of misconducts and the lack of accountability. One particularly vocal fan commented, "I recognize that the residents didn't get a vote in electing her to supervisor, but if they re-elect her, they get what they deserve." And it's not just about Henyard's questionable leadership skills. There's a deep sense of betrayal felt by those who have watched her rise to power. As another fan pointed out, you know what is the saddest part of all this that doesn't get a lot of focus. She is a born and raised Dolton citizen. That's her true home she is brutally taking advantage of. Stealing is bad, but stealing from your family is even worse, and people in your hometown is family. It's clear that for many, this isn't just about politics. It's personal. Henyard's actions are seen not only as a betrayal of her office, but also as a betrayal of the community she was meant to serve. So, what do you think? Will Tiffany Henyard manage to escape the latest allegations, or is this the final chapter of her controversial reign? And if she does face legal consequences, do you believe justice will be served, or is there more drama yet to unfold? We want to hear your thoughts. Drop a comment below and let us know where you stand. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.